That's right, guys. So we're going to start to inject a little bit of speed into our workouts. Let's get started. My name is Justin Thompson. I am your average running PT, and I help the average runner achieve their own personal elite status. If that's something you guys are into, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you guys know when the next video comes out. Alright guys, so it's Monday, July 13th, and I've been doing MAF style training now for probably about 3 months or so, maybe a little less. But I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm ready to start to inject a little bit more speed into my routine and not just work 100% on the aerobic capacity. So let's revisit what we talked about in the 80-20 video, which I'll link right up here in the cards. So in that 80-20 video, I mentioned that you want to be running about 80% of your efforts, about 80% of your running at comfortable, easy, aerobic style efforts. Okay, so that's my Maffetone style training, that's low heart rate training, it's zone 2, whatever you want to call it, but it's really easy running for 80% of your runs or more. So I've been doing more like 95 to 100% of my running has been easy running, and 5% or less has been harder efforts. And usually that just came in the form of a few hill bounding repeats or just running up hills. So I haven't really been doing a lot of speed work or really anything that's going to take my heart rate above an aerobic heart rate and into an anaerobic style of training. Therefore, my VO2 max probably isn't gaining the fast increases in performance as it could be. So what I'm going to start to do then is I'm going to start to introduce some intervals. And it started this morning. Today, Monday, July 13th. If you want to look at my Strava, then you can go back and look at that. But I ran some interval training. So I'm going to try and write it in right in here somewhere so that you guys can see exactly what I did. I'm also going to show you my Garmin Connect app where it kind of shows my splits and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to record this on my phone right now so that you guys can see what it is that I'm even looking at. Alright, so as you guys can see, I ran 5.56 miles today. So I'm just going to go ahead and click into there. And you guys can see that took me about 52 minutes. But, you know, 52 minutes, that was faster, slower, faster, slower. It wasn't just continuous. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the laps so that you guys can see exactly what I did. So you can look here and see that these laps are kind of weird times and things of that sort. So for today, what I wanted to do was start to just introduce some kind of cruise intervals, not super fast. I'm not going out there and running 800s or 400s or anything like that and just busting a gut. Okay, I'm trying to just kind of reintroduce myself to getting a little bit more leg turnover whenever I'm out there on these runs. So what I did was, for that first lap I started with, you can see there's a 9-minute and 26-second interval there. So basically that was the first mile. And then I continued to 10 minutes. So that was just a 10-minute, nice, easy warm-up, kind of running in that Maffetone level of training. Then what I started to do, and this was coming from my track coach, my running coach, Coach Enoch Nadler. I'll put a link in the description to his YouTube channel as well. He's a fantastic coach. He's a 2:13 marathoner. He was 25th in the Olympic marathon trials back in February. Awesome guy. He's been writing workouts for our club, and so today's workout was 2 by 6 minutes at around threshold pace, and then 2 by 3 minutes at CV pace, which is critical velocity pace, and then 4 by 15-second strides. So that's what I did. I did those intervals this morning. And so the way that kind of turned out was, as you guys can see, I started with, for that first 5:59 interval on lap 3 there, I did, it was right there at that 6 minutes. I was running about 7:49 pace. My threshold pace is somewhere around 7:15 to 7:25 or something like that. Okay, so 7:30, somewhere in that range. But what we wanted to account for was also the weather, and it was a little bit hot and humid. So I wanted to make sure that I was kind of dialing it back a little bit so that I wasn't overdoing it. So I was shooting for around 7:45. As you can see in that third lap on that first interval at 6 minutes, I ran about 7:49, and then easy 2 minutes in between, and then the second interval I ran about a 7:35 pace for that 6 minute interval. And I'm going to try and put in the kilometers over here as well, so that my international friends can kind of not have to do this conversion on their own. And then did another 2 minute break, went into my first 3 minute interval, and whenever I started to do the 3 minute intervals, I was going for a CV pace, or critical velocity pace. And I'm going to talk about these paces in another video at some point. But let's just say my CV pace is somewhere around 7 minutes to 7:15. But again, I wanted to account for the weather. So I was really shooting for somewhere between 7:20 and 7:30. As you can see on that lap number 7, that first 3 minute interval, way too hot on that one, 7:03 per mile for that pace. Too much, and you know, I've never been a great pacer. That's definitely not a gifting of mine, is knowing my pace in my head all the time. But this is typically how things end up going. I end up going too hard, too fast. But on the second one, I did end up going about 7:22, so I kind of hit in that between 7:20 and 7:30 that I was actually going for. So I dialed it in a little bit for that second 3 minute interval. And then I did another 2 minute break, and then I moved into 4 by 15 second strides with 45 seconds in between. So the first one I did, you know, the paces really mean nothing here. I was just striding it out. So I was under 5 minutes, you know, somewhere around 5 minutes or less kind of a pace on those strides. Obviously, I'm basically sprinting almost. So it takes me a second to ramp up, and then I kind of ramp down at the end. So, but that's my interval training for today. And then I finished with, if you can look there at lap number 19, 10 minutes and 16 seconds there. I was just giving it a 10 minute cool down. However far that took me, and this time it only took me 0.83 miles because I was getting pretty tired and my heart rate was kind of out of control a little bit, so it was a walk jog to finish for those last 10 minutes. So, but anyway, revisiting 80-20, you know, this is my only interval workout, or only workout that I plan on increasing my pace like this for the entire week. I plan on doing 5 or 6 runs for the week. This is one of those runs, and I totaled 5.5 miles, probably 4 of them at most. No, probably 3 of them at most were running at a faster pace. So, you know, technically I could run 15 miles. 3 miles out of 15 miles is 20%. So there's my 80-20 right there. Now I plan on actually running significantly more miles than 15, so I'll probably be well over that. I'll probably be significantly less than 20%. It might be somewhere around, you know, 10% if I get up close to that 25 or 30 mile mark for this week, which is what I want to do. Last week was a mess. You guys saw that in previous videos. Last week was just kind of a mess, so I ended up running a little bit faster there. but less miles. This week, I hope to be a lot more consistent, and things should start to normalize a little bit. Hopefully, I start getting into that 23, 25, 28 kind of mile range for this week. So that's the plan for the week. So again, just kind of revisiting that 80-20 principle, but I'm still not even doing 80-20. It's still going to be more like 90-10. So just kind of whenever you start doing some sort of interval training or some increasing your intensity a little bit, make sure that you are trying to keep in mind that 80-20 principle, just to make sure that you are able to recover in between those hard workouts. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week for my intervals or for my speed work or non-aerobic work. I'm not sure how I should qualify this. Is it speed work? If it's really just kind of up-tempo interval paces, or is it? How should I call that? How would you guys call it? Is it just a workout? I don't know. But anyway, that's the plan going forward, at least for the next few weeks, to try and introduce maybe one workout. We'll call it a workout. One workout a week where I'm increasing my pace a little bit. So hope that you guys like this one. Go on out there, seek your elite, and I will see you guys next time.